orphans that were staying with Jem in the Starlight Manor because they were orphans, and that was, they were the caretakers. And, like, when they had a runaway episode where one of the girls ran away, they didn't even call the police. They literally just went out to find her themselves.
Well, I mean, that one at least halfway makes sense. You're drifting off to the side.
I mean, you would think you would call the police and go look.
Right.
I mean...
Or maybe if you felt like you had a pretty good idea of where she was going to be.
So, I mean, that so many of these, of what we grew up with.
You got mail.
Ooh, I've got all sorts of mail.
Right.
So many of those things would just not fly today. Like, no way. No way anybody would let that be okay to be on TV.
Which, I mean, is partly it's a good thing, because part of the reason it wouldn't fly is just kids are smarter than that.
No, I don't think so. There are still runaways and things like that.
No, that's not the part I'm talking about, but kids would think it was odd if the cops weren't called when there are bombs going off.
I know, right? Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't even have a kids show with a bomb going off.
Well, there's that,
that's
too.
Too real and scary. So, that would not be okay in today's world. But what you gonna do? That's...
I'm gonna call the Ghostbusters.
That's
not the Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters.
That's who you're gonna call, not what you're gonna do.
I'm trying to keep it relevant here.
Yeah, but that didn't work. That was a little too far of a stretch.
I disagree.
Well, that's half of our channel.
And most of our relationship.
No. We don't disagree that often. Mostly it's on camera.
I more meant me going too far and you disagreeing.
We don't disagree that often.
No, we don't.
It just really seems like it every time we're on stream. But honestly, I promise it's a happy marriage.
Oh, it's a fantastic marriage.
But, even though it may not sound like it sometimes. But, hey, drama's good for viewing or something? Like, right? I don't know.
That's the rumor.
It is. And this right here is a badass elf. He's got earrings and swords, and he's shirtless. I mean, he is like some kind of a...
And he's got lots of abs. You can get all the ladies involved today.
Lots of abs, lots of muscle, long flowing hair.
You're going to get us in so much trouble.
Why? Because I'm
you're
objectifying a model.
Piece of plastic, yeah.
Right? I mean, if we learned anything from that model show that we never actually watched with Tyra Banks, America's Next Model, it's that models are supposed to be objectified. Right?
To some degree, I mean, I suppose.
That was a big part of the show, right?
I have no idea. I never watched it. Closest I came to watching that was Project Runway, the first few seasons when they had the models of Project Runway on afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one was kind of fun.
It was
It wasn't
It was a
that
thing.
great, but
it was a thing.
I mean, I think actually it was only 1 year and 1 season, and
Was it?
because it wasn't very good. The only thing it had going for it was right after Project Runway, so it was easy not to turn off. But
So what colors are you painting?
I'm not sure. They're all Reaper paints actually today. Everything I'm using right now is Reaper.
Back to the basics.
Oh, I wouldn't say the basics, but Reaper is a great place to start for new painters.
I agree.
Their paint consistency is just designed for beginners. Not that, I mean, it matters. I mean, obviously, I'm not a beginner anymore. I wouldn't qualify myself that way. And I still use a lot of Reaper. But since they are thinner than most of the other lines, it does make it very easy for beginners to use. Okay, so the first color I did was Auburn Shadow, and the current one I'm using is Woodland Brown.
Ooh.
So, actually, technically, what I'm doing right now is a mix of a 50-50 mix, but I'm working my way to the Woodland Brown, so. But the 50-50 steps, you're not supposed to yawn. I'm not that boring, am I?
No, I'm just that tired.
Yeah, last night was rough.
It was bad.
Bad night. Bad day yesterday, so.
Yeah. We won't get into that, though. They don't need no...
Anyway, but what I was saying about the paint, the reason that I always do 50-50 is it makes it easier to blend the layers that way when you're not jumping so much.
That makes
But
sense.
But if you have a figure that has very little skin tone showing, you might want to just jump up because it's such a small amount and such a small model that it really wouldn't matter. This guy's a little bit larger than an average mini. Average is, well, it depends on what you're going with. Reaper has 28 millimeter. D&D uses 32 millimeter. There's really, when you're talking about millimeters like that, very little difference. So, either way, but...
We printed him somewhere around 60 or so.
Right. We have we were given a big display to use for the diorama, so part of the way we're filling it is with larger figures. But not too large because we still have so much going on. And I mean so much is a lot. There's maybe 15 figures or so. But don't worry, you guys get to see the whole thing on my channel in a few weeks. So once we finish it, then it goes off to the editor. And I'm actually hoping to get it to him early next week. So that means in, about a week or two, or in about a week or two, you'll get to see it.
Fingers crossed.
So, not too shabby, not too far off. But the Kickstarter for Mammoth for these guys will be in late September. So, later this month, you can get your hands on them yourself through the Kickstarter. So that's exciting as well. But yeah, I definitely have to say one of my favorite things about Mammoth Factory is their posing. They know how to pose their figures really cool.
They do have a bunch of really good poses.
Yeah. And then there we go. Almost on to his mid-tone.
Woohoo!
Little bit more to go. So what else do we have going on? Oh, we still have to get ready for the Great Lakes Challenge.
Good point.
I
We
will
haven't
be.
done any prep work for that.
Well, I mean, I picked my topic. And-
Yes.
I know what I need for my topic. I just haven't prepped any of it. But I got a few more weeks left on that one too. So that won't be too long. And then after that, we have my work Fall Fest. That'll be coming up. And the exciting thing I do over there is that's the one time I actually go into the office. So we'll be heading off to Chicago. And I will be doing some face painting for children. So.
Sounds like such a thing she would normally do, right? Totally not weird.
Okay, now, how did I do that? Okay, have you guys ever done this? Let me know. Because I completely missed an entire portion of his neck. You guys see that, right?
Is that not his hair?
Well, some of it's his hair, but there's a whole section in here of his neck that I totally didn't even touch. It's still zenithal. So, yeah, that happened.
Weird.
Yeah, I do that every now and again. Wouldn't say it's regular, but it's certainly not something I would call uncommon. But, nobody needs to know, except for the fact that you all saw it. So.
I was gonna say, you kind of gave that one away then.
Well, they'll keep my secret, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. That's absolutely the sort of thing they do.
But they're my viewers. I love them.
Baby doll.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
Yeah, but these are my viewers. And this is the mini painting community. They're not like most of the internet. Miniature painting community is the best.
They are
Guys.
the best.
And I will say, our little portion of that is the very, very best. I might be obliged to say that because, you know, it's my channel. But still, regardless, I really love our subscribers and followers and fans. I get so excited when I get new comments on videos and stuff.
She really does.
So,
It's very cute.
and I respond to every single one of them.
like religiously and feels bad when she doesn't.
Well, but I don't ever feel
When
bad.
she can't right away.
There you go. I was gonna say, I never just don't do it. But sometimes I gotta think of a good response. You know? Sometimes you guys get me thinking. And that's a good thing.
Thinking is always as we all stop for a moment to think.
Oh,
And the
I'm not
silence
thinking.
rises.
I wasn't thinking there, I was just painting. But I think he's looking pretty good.
I think you're starting to drift off to the side again. There you go. You're good.
Is that better focus?
That's pretty good.
Okay. There we go.
I feel like that color of paint matches your the color of your bristles almost perfectly. But that could just because I'm looking at it weird.
No, it's pretty close. I'd say that's like a 95% match. Wow, noisy over there. What you doing?
Oh, I'm just trying to straighten up my desk.
Well, maybe save that till later,
Yeah.
because it's a little noisy.
I moved the thing I wanted to.
If you move the thing, you're never gonna find it.
It's glue. I'll find it.
Okay. So, you know what else I'd like to know from you guys? All of you watching. If you're doing figures together, like a diorama or something like that, how much thought do you put into color and color matching? Because, like, a D&D party, they're not all going to wear the same colors and things like that because they're not like an army. You know, this isn't Warhammer. So, do you try and put together some kind of underlying theme, or do you just keep it where these are the individuals and that's what they're doing? So, definitely.
I think it has a lot more to do with who's painting it. You know, do we have the DM painting the party, the figures as gifts?
I'm saying
or?
No, one person is painting all of them. So whatever you're painting them for, whether it's for a D&D game and you're painting multiple figures for that, or if you're painting up a diorama for like an adventure group like this.
Okay.
The only thing I'm not asking about is if it's like a war game kind of thing, because
Alright.
obviously your uniforms are going to match then. That's a no-brainer. So, not really curious about that one. But the rest of it.
Okay, that makes sense. I can follow that logic then.
That is a muscly chest.
Yes, it is. Throwback to when we first started watching painting videos. One of the first videos I feel like we ever watched was Squidward talking about not painting muscle islands.
Nope. You are so confused.
Okay.
Squidward is a character on SpongeBob.
Squidmar, excuse me.
And he never said that. That is Vince's line. No muscle islands. And that wasn't back when we first started. That was when I was learning to do skin tone. And going absolutely bonkers not getting it.
I feel like one of the first videos we watched was Squid painting up one of his figures. I want to say it was a Kickstarter figure he was doing. And
No.
being very specific about how you paint abs.
No, that was the ones when I was following Vince, and that was also when Vince painted up one of Miniac's woodland elves
Okay.
for his Kickstarter.
We all know I have bad memory, so I'm not fighting with you. I'm just
But no, that's a Vince thing. What are you staring at?
the Citadel. The GW paint over there with the red. I don't remember ever having seen the red border like that.
That would be Iron Warrior.
Okay. It looks like a black of one sort or another.
That's a metallic.
Okay.
Metallic
Makes
black.
sense. Okay, I just had never seen the red border like that, so I was curious.
I'm pretty sure I got that one at Adepticon. So, which, hey, we're planning on going back to this year.
Yes, indeed.
Or, well, this coming year, I should say. Obviously, this year is over. We went to GaryCon instead to check that out and see what that was all about. And, because that's more D&D based. And it was fun, but it wasn't a lot of mini painting, which was not surprising, but it also was not exactly,
It was not Mandy's cup of tea.
right.
Mandy is very particular about who she plays with.
That's the thing. It was, if you want to play D&D, that is a great place to go and to spend a lot of time. But I have had some horrible tables, and that's kind of traumatized me from playing with strangers and people I don't know. So I would not just hey, pick up a table at GaryCon and say, hey, let's go. Not something I would do because that just does not sound like fun to me. Because of all the bad experiences we've had. I mean, we had some jerk who was so mad the GM was starting everyone at first level to start a long-term campaign, and he was so mad about it that he let his character be killed by a door hitting him because he got drunk and passed out in front of it.
And he didn't just let it. He specifically demanded.
Right, he demanded that that's what happened and all of that. Just totally ruining the whole thing. So
The whole vibe.
he died. Everybody else left very unhappy.
And nobody ever came back to playing the game again.
And we never saw him again.
Which was not a loss on that, but, not seeing anybody else from that game was kind of disappointing.
So But yeah, nobody wanted to continue after that. So, kind of a problem. Like, that's how bad it was. Not a single one. Everybody had been like, oh, I've been dying to find a group. And he literally killed it for all of us. So frustrating. And then there was another one that I joined where we were having a lot of fun. It was great for the first session. Come back for the second session, and the GM allowed like 4 new players to join the table. So now a table of 5 or 6 became a table of 10, and the entire session too, I got to roll 1 die, miss, and do nothing else for the entire 2-hour session. So I quit. I'm like, I am not wasting my time to do nothing. This isn't fun. There isn't anything for me to do.
Well, it's not even that there wasn't anything for you to do, you know. You had a character that could have been useful, but there were so many other people trying to do things that no one got to do anything.
That's true. I mean, it wasn't like I was the only person who didn't get to do anything. Everybody got to do one little thing, and that was it. And it took almost the whole 2 hours to do one battle.
Not even one battle, just... Yeah, it was a bad situation.
Really bad. So, you know, if you're a DM, control your table. Don't just let everybody and their brother join. Only take what you can handle, and what will keep the game fun. So.
Excuse me.
But hey, gameplay should have been way better after we left, because they were down 2 people. So made it better for everyone else. I'm willing to take that loss to make it better for someone else. But, you know, at the same time, at some point I want my turn. At some point I want to face the bad guy.
That doesn't seem inappropriate.
In a D&D game, I don't want to fight a bad guy in real life. Let's be very clear. I would not do well in that scenario, and yeah, let's not do that.
I would run and hide if I ran into a bad guy.
Well, I am certainly not going to condemn that course of action. So, to be honest, I'm not sure what I'd do, but I'm good with not finding out. So, I just leave it like that. All right, he seems really dark-skinned for an
Way
elf.
too high.
Oh. Is that just me?
Oh, it seems like he's been out in the sun a lot, yeah.
That's okay. I kind of imagine him out in the sun. He doesn't have a shirt. Of course he's going to be tan.
He's
And
very Conan.
Let's be honest. I am so tired of the fair-skinned elves. Like, let's get some elves with some sun. You know, they're not
Mandy's
all
gonna
out
start
in the
painting
shade.
Drow.
They're not all out in the shade. Start painting drow? You make it sound like I've never painted a drow before.
I mean...
I've painted like 2.
Okay.
But I have painted them. But yeah, I think some tan-skinned elves. I mean, they're nature, and granted, they're in the forest where it's always shaded, but not the adventure one. And you know, let's be honest, this guy kind of looks like a rogue elf, and Therefore, he would do things quite a bit differently.
Like I said, he looks like a Conan elf.
I'll take it. He's got the abs for it.
Exactly. May not have, bulging biceps or anything, but he seems muscly enough.
Right. I'm not really sure what to do here.
What are you trying to do? In his forehead?
I'm in the highlight section, and the thing is, remember, that is way too much highlight.
He's underground, it's all dark down there.
There's still going to be highlight.
Not arguing that.
Especially with the lighting scheme we have, because of course there's electronics in this diorama. But the lighting is from straight above instead of being diagonal like it usually is. So that kind of is throwing me off, because I don't usually paint that way.
You'll manage, you got skills.
Thank you. Yes, but it's going to require a little more back and forth than I usually do. I don't just, highlight goes here, highlight goes here, highlight goes here. It's like, ooh.
No turning your brain off today.
No. Which is a little problematic, because I didn't sleep well either.
Your brain has defaulted to off?
I don't know about all that. It's not quite off. Definitely went a little much on the highlight over there. That one's better. And of course I'm going to highlight these abs a little bit. Wouldn't you?
Oh, if I had abs, I would, show them off every chance I got.
Right. There's a reason he's decided to keep his shirt off.
Right.
Elbow. Shoulder. And then when highlighting hands, you really want to just mostly do the knuckles, because your knuckles are always more highlighted than the rest of your hand when you're in a fist. So, isn't that neat? There you go. Learn something new every day. And, most people tune in for the tutorial part of my videos. So.
There you go. You had your tutorial moment.
Right. Live stream tend to not have as many, but.
Yeah, but.
Usually it's more open to answering questions kind of deal. Elbow. Same thing with elbows and knees. It's the joint, because the bone sticks out in those areas. So they tend to highlight better or stronger than the rest of the hand and arm and all of that. So, there you go. Little bit of knowledge for you. All right.
And we're back to knowing is half the battle. We've come all the way back around to Saturday morning.
In the 80s.
40 freaking years ago.
Oh, yeah. We're not old or anything.
No.
Okay. A little more highlight. And then it's time to glaze back in.
You know, that's a couple of them that never had any, you know, Scooby-Doo never had a, you know, and knowing is half the battle sort of moment. Neither did Thundar.
Those are 70s cartoons, not 80s cartoons. Even though Scooby-Doo went into the 80s and even the 90s, it was still created in the 70s when that wasn't a thing.
I suppose.
Yes, I know way too much about some of this stupid stuff. I watch a lot of documentaries. I'm not just a know-it-all. There's a lot of subjects I don't know about.
Well, I think that's true for everybody.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like I was coming across as a know-it-all right there. Especially, it's like, if I'm thinking I'm off-putting on that.
Thundar was not the 70s. He was 1980 and 1981.
Okay, but really? The cartoons we're comparing to are 85, 86, so that's still well before.
This is very true. This is very true.
See? And I am wrong. Just close enough. But technically still wrong. So I will still take that L. That's okay. I don't have to be right all the time. Especially since I'm not. But...
Well, it would be kind of
okay.
hard to be right all the time.
You know, I think if I had the ability to be right all the time, I still wouldn't. Just because I wouldn't want to come across as an egomaniac or a know-it-all like that. Like, honestly, most of the things I know, like I said, are all from watching documentaries and things like that, and you know, they're not really useful things for the most part, because of course I don't watch the useful documentaries. I watch the fun ones.
Hey, knowing why, you know, grain silos and, you know, bridges fall down can be important information.
It can be, but you know, honestly, I watch them for the same reason we all watch Mythbusters.
To watch it all go wrong.
Right. Watch the big explosion. Watch the big...
Jamie one big boom.
Yeah, and it's very cool because now Carrie and Tori are doing a podcast on YouTube. So
we get our little Mythbusters fix.
As well as Adam. Adam's on here as well.
Apparently, most of the episodes are available for free. So
yes, but not the ones related to movies because copyright.
Freaking lawyers, man.
And we learned that from the podcast. Again, I don't just know these things. But yeah, I still want to see the episode where Adam is guest starring on Gary and Tori's podcast, but hasn't happened yet. That should be like really entertaining. Of course, I'm sure that would be way too long. They could probably go on for 2-3 hours together, I'm sure.
Considering Adam himself can go on for 2 or 3 hours.
Yes, but he does a very good job of keeping things short on YouTube and cutting things down. So he does a live stream for his little paid group. I can't remember what they're called. That's exactly it.
I'm aware.
And they get to ask questions and stuff like that, and he answers, and then he just picks a couple of them to go on the YouTube for us to watch. So they're nice and short, so I get to watch a bunch of those. And then he also had Marina from Nerdforge.
Yep, I believe it's Marina. You're drifting off to the side again.
So she's another really cool channel on YouTube. I know she's not really mini, although she does do some miniature builds, but she does all sorts of epic builds and things like that. So, very, very cool stuff. If you haven't ever heard of Nerdforge, she's really good. Very much.
And some very cool cosplay stuff.
Yes. But she is very, very good at, pretty much all the Mythbusters stuff. That mix of, building and creativity and science and geeky, nerdy stuff that we all love. Like you said,
Just general
cosplay,
fabrication,
miniatures, books. I mean, all sorts of really cool stuff. So, here, can you do that for me? Hey, there. I knew one was going to get all over my hands. Of course it would be the red. So, always happens. I so have to get a new pokey tool. But thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's another great channel to check out. Maybe it's Martina. Is it Martina?
Something like that.
Anyway, I don't watch her regularly. I haven't seen too much, but she's got some really cool stuff. And she plays with electronics as well, and it's just all across the board. Very, very cool stuff. So, absolutely love her. And of course, when she was on talking with Adam, that was just really fun. And I actually only saw one of them. I only got to watch one of them so far, but I know that there was a couple others because I saw more. So, as soon as I get some more time to watch those, but now he's starting to look like he has skin tone. It's absolutely amazing what just adding a red glaze to represent the blood under the skin, what that really does to bring the figure to life. So if you've never tried it, I definitely recommend giving it a go, because as you can see, it's very easy. If you mess up, you just use some water to thin it down a little bit more, but you can always keep adding more until it looks the way you want it to, and keep moving it around, and it just adds so much to the skin tone. I remember forever being like, one of these days I'm going to learn how to do the skin tone like that, one of these days, and it took forever, and it was very, very frustrating, and I was very, very upset. so much that I, practically threw a model.
You didn't practically throw a model. You threw a model.
I didn't actually throw him. He was a big model. That would probably hurt our wall. It was that big of a model. But anyway, the big thing is it's worth it once you get it in the end. The skin tone looks so much better, and then honestly that just improves the quality of your painting so much just because of that one little trick.
Mark says, oh good, he's been meaning to work on his skin game. It's tough to type that without sounding like a serial killer. That's okay, we're also serial killers around here. Nobody needs to know.
We all sound like that. I mean, especially when you're talking about, like, when you get into different things, like, some of the dioramas we've did and stuff, we've had to cut off heads and things like that. So, cutting off someone's head really sounds probably worse than the skin, but really this is the biggest thing that you can do, is just learning the glazing with, and it doesn't matter what red. I've used everything from magenta all the way down to pinks. So depending on what kind of look you're going for, it really just adds so much life to it. Another thing that you can do, especially with male figures, that works really cool for faces, is to use a blue or a purple, or even a bluish gray. Bluish gray is my favorite, but I'm going to do purple here because he's going to have purple pants. So it'll fit with the color scheme better. And you just do the bottom where the stubble would be. Sorry, I gotta make a good glaze here. And that's still a bit weak. Alright, let's see how that's working. There we go. Okay, it's very, very subtle still. Let me try a stronger mix. There we go. Should be it. No. What is going on here?
The paint is fighting with you.
It really is. It's like I'm putting paint on the brush, but when I go to actually paint, there's nothing on it. It's like, what the heck? See, like, it still looks like there's, oh, there we go. Hey, I got a little bit of it to come out. Okay. That was so weird. And it's gonna do it again. Okay. So there we go. So it's a glaze, so you want it to be very thin. But that's just gonna give it that little hint to make it feel like stubble or shadow or that sort of thing. Now you do want to kind of avoid that a little bit with female faces because...
Why not? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, but 5 o'clock shadow on a girl is not usually the desired outcome. Hey, some girls like it. They don't mind that they have facial hair and things like that, and to that, good for them. If I did, I don't know that I'd do anything about it either, but that's just laziness. Not some kind of a statement of accept me. So, I mean, hey, to each their own is what I say. Like, if you're a female who has stubble, so what? It doesn't detract from you in any way, shape, or form. But if you have stubble and you don't want it and you shave it, cool, fine by me. Whatever you want. Okay. Okay, I'm actually gonna make this a little bit darker just right in front. Like a little goatee thing going on. Because, I don't know, something about him says he's the kind of guy who might kind of like a goatee. Let's give him a little goatee in here. Okay. That got a bit messy, but I'm going to clean that up. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure how much of that you're seeing because a lot of it is very, very subtle. Oh, well, there's a big heavy one and you can see it really looks like stubble now. If I can get it on camera. There we go. So that's also kind of fun for adding character to your models. But not required. But like I said, the red, doing the red around like shoulders, neck, anywhere, you know, look on your body, anywhere that you, like fingers, you know, wrists, you tend to get a little, and especially the palms of your hands. You tend to get, or at least I do, a lot more red, a lot more blood. But usually it's the areas where the blood is closer to the surface, so where the skin is thinnest, which is why the knuckles and all of that, you can see how much red I have going on my knuckle. No, you can't because I'm not on screen. There we are. Oh.
Don't worry about it.
I am so, don't worry about what? I was just checking what chat was saying.
I know.
So, anyway, that's my suggestion on skin tone. So the one way you can really improve your skin tone is trying that red glaze. And again, any red. Does not matter. I've done brick red, pink, magenta. This one is chum red from Reaper. So literally any of those would work. But it just adds a little something, a little more depth. And if you decide you don't like something, so like let's say I decide I don't want him to have this 5 o'clock shadow. Because, well, let's be honest, he is still an elf, and that might be a little much for an elf. I don't know if we've experienced bearded elves yet. You can always just take it back down. Glaze it back down a little bit. Has there been? Can you think of a bearded elf in... I mean, I know Santa's elves, but those are a different kind of elves altogether.
Definitely, and I don't even remember any of them having... Well, in the Santa Claus, I suppose a couple of them did. Not Santa Claus, but...
Santa Claus the movie.
Exactly, some of them did.
But again, back to the 80s, because we are children of the 80s.
Mark says he's going to try magenta, and if it doesn't look good, he's going to send you a sternly written email.
Okay. All right. But include pictures so I can help with also how to fix it. So, because I am happy to do that. So, but yeah, see, like since I want to take that back down, I just cover it right back up. That's the fun of paint. None of it is permanent. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Wow, what is that? There's like a line on his face. I know part of it is his cheekbone, but...
Mark says a lot of his victims end up looking like... A lot of his faces end up looking like burn victims.
Oh. Okay.
So, how do you fix that?
I would. Okay, so one of the things that I tend to do when I'm picking my colors is I'll pick a reddish colored shadow color, and then when I pick my mid-tone, I pick something very anti-red, no red, more of a yellowish brown. So like this is woodland brown, but some of my other ones that I use all the time are golden skin. I am really pulling out the Reaper today. Here's the scale 75 golden skin again. These are very yellow based, so that's going to tone it down. And then if you go too high with the red, so let's say I take this in here and I just go like this, so there we go. Definitely looks, get that on camera somewhere over here. Okay, so like I literally just kind of smeared some red.
You're getting more of his elbow. There you go.
Okay, so I can go back to that mid-tone, and I'm going to kind of balance that out by just glazing back into the mid-tone to tone it down. So unfortunately, so the good news is you can fix it easily. The bad news is it's the back and forth game, and that's never fun. That nobody likes doing that, but that is most of painting. So at least that's my theory. I don't know if you've heard me talk about that before. I rant about it all the time. When you make a mistake, then you got to go back to the other color to fix it, and that's the back and forth game. And let's face it, you prime a model black, and then you zenithal it back to white, and then you put down your shadow color, so you're just constantly doing this back and forth of light and dark, and this color to that color. But it's really the mixing of the colors and that kind of back and forth that works really well for everything. Blending works that way, glazing works that way. You know, you got to do multiple layers of it. So that's really how you take your painting to the next level, is you just kind of submit yourself to the back and forth game. So just know you've got to do it. I mean, you can see me doing it here. I just literally took a perfectly good figure and threw in a bunch of purple and then threw on a whole lot of red on the skin tone just to try and prove a point. Which, wow, again, sounds like I'm really trying to be a know-it-all, but it's to me that's a very important point of, you know, paint bravely. You can always go back. It's okay.
Mark says what I'm hearing is that I'm lazy. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It's the truth I needed to hear.
It's not just you. We all.
Yeah, you're not at all.
You're in great company. We're right there with you.
Me very highly. I refuse to paint my figures 3 times just to make them.
Yeah, Ben won't even layer. He
No.
will not. He just like literally will base coat. Sometimes I can convince him to put on a wash, but
I usually do a wash. But.
that's it. That's pretty much all I can get him to do for his own figures.
So you're in good company, Mark.
Wrong place. Okay.
Wrong place at the right time?
No, I for some reason I was putting the red on the bottom. I was putting the red where the purple goes. Yeah, I'm still putting back a little bit of purple, but it's going to be very subtle, hard to see. Because I'm just giving that nuance. And what happens is your brain takes all that information. You've got all the different layers of different colors and different things that way. And your brain takes all that visual confusion and blends it in your mind. So you're actually seeing the blend, and that's why it works so well. So when in doubt, layer up, do an extra glaze, do a little bit more, because it's always going to
Mark has
help.
discovered the underlying truth of miniature painting. A painted mini is always better than an unpainted mini,
Yes.
no matter the painter's skill.
That is very true. 1000%.
I will always come back to what Scott said on at Adepticon a few years ago. They were doing Trapped Under Plastic Live, and he said, if you want to rattle can spray paint a mini green, just one coat green and call it done. That's a painted mini. That's a good mini. That's all you need to do.
Whatever you're happy with.
Gray.
So, yep.
I don't care your ability. Everybody can paint. It's just a question of how much time you want to put into it.
Mm-hmm. So, like, my skill level took a long time, a lot of practice, and a lot of effort. So I will say that much. But I am also 100% convinced that there is nothing special about me other than I put the time in. With regards to painting. I'm not, down on myself. So, wow, I go from one extreme to I'm a know-it-all to I'm awful. Wow, the back and forth game is extremely strong in my brain today.
There you go.
But no, seriously, anybody can do it. If you put the time, if you put the effort in, it's got to be something you want to do. And if you don't want to do that, the most important thing I can tell you is okay. You don't have to. Like I said, he doesn't ever want to learn to paint the way I do.
No.
And that's just, honestly, he pushed me for years to get into miniature painting because he didn't want to paint it. He wanted to build terrain.
Yep.
And wanted me to paint the minis to go on said terrain.
Yep.
So we spent years doing that. He spent years trying to convince me of that. So then I finally try it, and I hated it. It was horrible. It was the worst thing ever because I knew nothing. And I was using old craft paints, and I had Scary Marys, that's what I call them, Scary Marys, that were just hideous looking. And
Mark says that your elf needs a cheeseburger.
Right?
He's got too many abs.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yep. He needs some pizza.
Ooh, pizza.
Pizza. I'm from Chicago. It's all pizza. I don't get me wrong. I like a good burger, but pizza's the good go-to. Anyway, so then I was painting. He got me some big dragon figures to paint too, and those were fine because they were bigger. So I started learning more about painting in general, and so it was like, oh, my paint sucks because it's super thick, and I didn't thin it because I didn't know to do that, and that's what really ruined everything. So let me try this again now that I have miniature paints, and they're good paints, and they're not 20 years old like the old ones, like I was using, 20-year-old paint. And suddenly it was actually fun to do. So then I got into it, and he did nothing. He didn't start building the terrain. He did a little bit, and then he stopped for quite a while. But now I'm kind of dragging him along. So.
And you're doing a fine job of it.
Making him help me and all that kind of stuff. But again, he still doesn't want to do that with painting. That's fine. I don't think that it matters. If you don't want to
If it's not gonna be fun, why are you doing it?
Right.
This is a hobby you're supposed to be. It's one thing if you're doing it for your job. Okay, that's different. That you've got requirements to live up to, whatever. But this, for most of us, this is hobby. If you're not doing it if you're not enjoying yourself,
right, then you're doing
why
something
bother?
wrong. And that's a big thing. I actually have taken a hiatus from most commissions because doing it as a job does burn you out a little bit quicker if you don't take time for yourself. All the commission painters say that, and they all warn you about it. And, I listen, and I've even tried their suggestions. One person was like, okay, well, I take the first 2 hours of the day, and that's for me.
Mark doesn't do it for fun. He does it to make other players jealous.
Oh, okay. So you definitely want to go on the deep trail, go on the long road with us. Come on, you're coming with me, not him.
Mark paints for spite.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Hey.
If that's what's important to you, that's fine. I try and, I think that's also a part of most of us. I say most of us because Ben is not this way at all. He is so not competitive. But a lot of us have that competitive nature, and even beyond that, if you're going to do something, why not do your best? And, who doesn't want their best to be the best, better than, everyone else? It may not always happen, may not always be realistic, but who doesn't want it? Even people like Ben who aren't competitive would like it. Right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't tell you I'm wrong. It's not a driving...
No, it's not a motivating factor for you, but
no.
That's okay.
If it happens, that's great. If not, I'm not missing out on anything.
But, I absolutely... Oh, and then my gosh, I am not finishing my thoughts. Same thing with highlights. Like this highlight that I'm using today is Pale Flesh. That's a little more pink than I would normally use for a highlight. Normally I keep my highlights in the yellow range as well. Because most of the time your miniatures are in a sunny area. The sun is what's giving them light. I didn't do it here specifically. That was actually a conscious choice because this guy is in a cave. So he's not going to have sunlight on him at this moment. So I figured the more pinker highlight would probably work well for him. So, but that will also help cut your red, is by keeping your mid-tone and highlights very yellow. And then that allows you to glaze. When you glaze, you go from highlight to shadow. So I'm showing on a cheek because usually you highlight the cheek, but from highlight to the shadow, because when you lift your brush up, that's where the most paint is going to be deposited, and you want that to be in the shadow area, not the highlight. And that'll help balance out your colors so they don't look like burn victims. Unless you want them to. I actually did, our friend Dan, one of the times he was over, he wanted to do his figure as sunburned. So I had to stop and think about it as he was asking me the color. It's like, what color do you become when you're sunburned? So luckily at the time, I had a sunburn. So I just had to go like this to figure it out. So that was fun. Only time sunburn helped anybody out, right? Normally they're just awful things. did I answer every question, or did I just
No,
go
you're-
off on my own rambles?
No, you're doing a fine job so far.
Okay, good. Because honestly, I just get so excited and animated. I love talking about miniature painting because it's my passion. And then I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
It's okay. I'll make sure to keep you on track with the chat and all that. That's what I'm here for.
Okay. All right. While that purple dries, I'm gonna shift over.
Mandy
to
actually
this.
did make everybody else, all the other players at our last game, jealous with her figure, her last figure.
No, I didn't.
You did.
They're all our friends. They
I'm
know
aware of
how I
that.
paint. They weren't actually jealous. And they all did a great job.
Mark says I especially have a hard time with darker flesh tones. Usually turns out looking like an indistinct blob of color.
Okay. I do have a dark skin tutorial on my YouTube channel, so I would recommend checking that one out because that one I'm actually really, really proud of. I love painting dark skin. And one of the reasons I love painting it is exactly what you said. It is difficult. And so when you get it right, it's that, oh, look, I can do it so well. So I love doing it. So I just want to keep doing it more. When it comes to dark skin tone, I usually, oh gosh, my paints are all over.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of way too many projects right now, is really what it boils down to. Okay. So I will start with, there we go. Usually a super dark red like this. This is Indian Shadow. Or I will go with a, sure. I don't even know where it went. Where is it? Because of course I don't know these colors by heart. Move that. That's not it. That's not it. Wow, so many colors all over the place. Here's another one. Okay, so if you want something less red for like a cooler shade, something like the Grim Brown, or even Dusky Skin Shadow. That's AK, that's Reaper. There's another scale 75 it's like, I want to say the color is black leather, but it actually looks purplish. So, it's got a very heavy purple undertone. Kind of like, I have so many paints. Okay, kind of like one of these, like a violet shadow, where you can see the color. It's that little bit of purple, but it's still very, very dark. So start super dark. Then from there, we're gonna go up to a very rich color, rich brown, like this one's brown leather. Another one that I love is Rutari Flesh. That's a Reaper one. So I like that one a lot. But the thing you can see with these is they all tend to have a kind of purple. Here's two thin coats, cuirass leather. Same kind of color. They all have that like purple undertone. So that would be, a mid-tone, depending on how dark you go. Like if you're doing something this dark, you're gonna need to go super dark. But if you're going with this one isn't gonna work, and you're gonna need to come all the way down to something like the brown leather. And then we start getting into our olive skin tone. So that's gonna be like Reaper's olive skin tone. Here I've got AK's Tan Earth. So these are going to be your highlight colors. You're going to go into like an olive, and then you're going to keep it going into your Caucasian colors. So these are going to be your highlight colors on dark skin. So it does take a lot of really good blending. So I usually do a lot of wet blending when I'm doing those.
The back and forth game.
Yeah, very much. So, okay. Get all these paints back where they're supposed to be, because I need to know where they are for my projects. That one goes back there. The rest of these... Oh, I took this from the Grim Brown from somewhere back here. Maybe there. I'm going to pretend it's there and hope that's right. That one goes there. Okay. So,
Mark once had some surprising luck with dark flesh using a base color of 50-50 red and green. That makes sense.
yes, that would be a really good one because being complementary colors, they're going to contrast each other and create a really perfect mid-tone brown. So that's always going to look really good. And it doesn't have to be red and green. You can do orange and blue or purple and yellow. So that's where color theory really comes into play. And it makes far more interesting shadows. I know I've talked before about, anytime I'm talking about gore, I bring up Michelle Farnsworth, the late great Michelle Farnsworth. I took a bunch of classes with her, and in one of those classes, where does it go? There it goes. In one of those classes, she was talking about, so like if you're using a red color, to shade it in green, because it makes a much richer shadow color than a dark red would. So that is also something to play with, and that works really well, even though I don't do it very often.
You're worried about it looking Christmassy.
No, because it turns it brown, so it's not really a problem whatsoever. But I think usually I don't do it because I have so many paints, I don't really need to mix. And as you can see, I kind of know the colors very well, so I will just find maybe a very cold shadow, red shadow. It's not going to hit quite green, but something like that. Or, I don't know.
Lost your thought big time there.
I did. I'm not sure what I'm doing anymore.
Got away from you a bit.
So, well, these are all thoughts and stuff that I have to put into a script for my color theory video that I still haven't made.
I was going to ask you about that and ask you if it was still coming.
It is. It's coming. I'm not sure when. Along with the airbrush videos that I promised, those are coming. Yeah, so many videos. But they're coming. I'm working on them. So, I mean, I'm not working on all of them right now, but the reason there's so many projects going on is partly because of videos. I got halfway done with the video and I've got to record the rest, but haven't done it yet, so I can't put those paints away in case I need them for the back and forth game. So whole lot of projects, and that's again why one of the main reasons I stopped taking commissions for now. I'm probably going to go back to it at some point. I don't know when. But that's gonna happen. As soon as I feel like I've caught up on everything. Because I also haven't touched my website in like 2 years now. So that thing is really out of date. There's a store in there with like super old pricing, and like half the things are not even in there. Half the things we have available are not even in there. We've got new merch coming that I have to figure out.
Half of the Amazon links are broken.
Oh, yeah. That's your fault.
Yeah, I know.
That one is not my fault. I had all the links working. He broke them. And he never finished them.
Well, I mean, partly it's Amazon's because, you know, products keep changing.
That's also true. That's really annoying. I will tell you. As an affiliate partner, it is really annoying because that's part of... I would say that's half of why it doesn't work. Half of it was you. The other half, I will say, was Amazon. Not even Amazon, just the Amazon sellers. So... but, yeah, so I've got to get to all of that as well.
Life as a YouTuber is busy, busy, busy.
Yeah. Well, I wish it was just that. I'm also have a full-time job. So, I don't always have the most amount of time because I've got a full-time job, and then I have to make YouTube videos, and then I also teach with if you guys want private lessons, Patreon offers that, so I have that, and then I do the live streams, and then I do commissions. So you can see where time really runs out for me. But it's fun, and it's what I like doing, so I keep doing it. And one of these days I'll get through all of it. But really helps now that we've got editors, so.
Yes, that makes a huge difference.
It really, really does. So, editing was taking forever. And now I don't even have to edit for my job at work. We've hired somebody else to do that there, so. That's pretty cool. And we're hiring 3 more positions for my full-time job. So I will finally get some well-needed help. Or desperately needed help. So that should at least make me feel a little less tired. So at least that's the goal. But plus I'll actually be able to get through all of my tasks. So, oh, I forgot to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So the other day, my boss yelled at me.
You told me about that.
Yeah, I know. No, I told you about that. I didn't tell them about that.
Oh.
So my boss yelled at me, and I was in the middle of something, and I was frustrated, and I yelled at her back, which is not something you should ever, ever, ever do to your boss, especially when you're wrong, which in this case, what I snapped back with was 100% wrong. So that was even worse. But my boss is so awesome. She knows that's not normal. And so it was all fine and worked out in the end and stuff. And that's why we're hiring a lot more help. And
more importantly, you still have a job.
Yes, I still have a job. Because, yeah, like I said, don't do that. It should not be good. But luckily, like I said, my boss is awesome.
And she knows that that's not something I would normally do. So she was kind of really taken aback. But, I apologized afterwards, and the next day she apologized to me for yelling in the first place. Because, again, really cool boss. So she's awesome, and yeah, she apologized to me. I forgot to tell you that. So when she apologized that time, I took that as a good time to apologize yet again. Because again, I was the one in the wrong, completely. And, but it did help. So that's the good news, is it did help. And, so why do I feel like he should have some kind of like beach blonde, like surfer look? He's got the tan.
Oh my.
And should have like the bleach blonde.
Works in HR and generally discourage supervisors shouting at employees.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
That's true. That's true. But hey, you know what? Again, that's just the way things go, and I've been with her for over 10 years, so she's...
And for about 5 of those, you were the only 2 employees.
Well, no, not really, but yes. But no. Complicated situation. Anyway, she always tells me that we're family, and normally when you hear that, it's one of those like, yeah, right, all that means is, you treat me, like, you can use that to treat me like dirt. But no, she actually means it, so like when I yell at her, she knows that it's just, I'm snapping in the moment, and that's not normal. Because again, 10 years, that's probably like the second time I've snapped at her. Yeah, so don't do that. Don't snap at people. It's not good. But when you work in a very stressful environment, very fast paced, and you have so much to do, things tend to happen. But again, she's awesome, so she knows that's not normal, and that she knows that I still respect her. Because mostly you yell at people when you don't respect them, and we have a good amount of respect. So, but I still thought that was funny.
Hey, if you're gonna do blonde hair, does that mean you're gonna use yellow?
No yellow. So. No, if I was doing blonde, because I'd want it to be a light blonde, so it would be like this one, Thar brown, with a nice yellow brown undercolor, like maybe, what is that, ochre brown?
Mm-hmm.
Scale color ochre brown. So.
I saw him as a black hair, so.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I've got so much blue on his chin. I better fix that. Alright.
Maybe it's a beard.
No, I took away the beard. Remember, I decided I didn't want him to have one. That was a little too far from normal elf for me. Maybe we meet in the middle with brown. I mean, he does have the blue swirls. He's got these really cool blue swirls on him. And one of the other models is using blue as a magic power, and so this is like a protection spell on him that she's casting. So I don't know. I just kind of really want to do the blonde.
So do blonde.
Maybe I'll just do a light brown instead. I think that'll balance it out nicely. So. I'll do that. But that means I need a darker brown to start with. Alright. Okay, that's not working. For some reason, I cannot seem to use my pokey tool today. I don't know if those have beer. Yeah, Mark, I agree. I don't think I've ever seen a fantasy elf with a beard. I think it's just wrong. They just don't get that much hair. Facial hair, anyway. Not like a dwarf.
Dwarves are old.
Dwarves have great beards.
That's not why they rule, but, yes, they do.
Wow, this brown is much lighter than I thought. That is not going to make a good shadow color. Might make a good mid-brown, but...
In Dragonlance... Oh no, he specifically grew a beard because he was half human. Yeah.
I would say I don't know Dragonlance at all.
Dragonlance is classic.
There we go. That's going to be a dark brown. There we go. I know what Dragonlance is. I just never embraced it.
Mm-hmm.
I was busy watching the D&D cartoon from the 80s, because we're back to 80s cartoons.
There you go.
Because all conversation is cyclical. And it always goes back to 80s cartoons. At least in this house. Come on, was there anything better?
Gamers, The Darkness Rising.
True. Okay. You win.
And it was only better because it absolutely has the soul of Saturday morning cartoons with the maturity of...
Being an adult.
Exactly.
Or a
With
college student, at least.
Yeah. With the maturity of being a film school student.
I wouldn't even say film school. Just college in general. The good old days.
Mark is going to get going. He thanks us for the glazing tips. And he's going to check out the Dark Flesh. Once again, if it turns out wrong, he will send a sternly worded email.
With photos. Perfect. All right, I look forward to it, Mark.
Have a good one.
Good luck. Oh, all this talking. tell you, I missed the stream last week.
Now your
Things
throat's
going
out
on.
of practice.
Yeah. I haven't been talking so much. Really, I actually don't talk very much at all in real life, but videos, it's kind of like what it's all about.
I do it.
Streams.
I do it all day long.
Yes, you do. Oh, I didn't tell you. So I've mentioned we're hiring for new people.
Yeah.
I have 2 interviews set up for Friday with people that I'm very excited about.
Well, that's good.
And they're for 2 different positions.
That's awesome.
So if they're both as good as they seem today, we may have 2 positions filled.
Wow.
Out of 3.
That's quite awesome. What does that have to
Right?
do with me talking all day?
Just brought me back to work, thinking about work.
Gotcha.
Sorry, it has nothing to do with your job.
Okay, no. If there's anything, bigger than my ego on this ship, I want it found and shot immediately.
Oh, don't say that. You're gonna have to kill me then.
That's a quote from a book.
I know.
Oh, okay.
You've used it before.
It's a good one. Zaphod Beeblebrox, come on. Can't beat it.
I have no idea, but okay, looking at him right now, he's totally a brown hair elf.
Oh, yeah.
That was totally right.
Yep.
So I was wrong, you were wrong. The elf is right.
The elf is right.
He knows what he is.
He is not the elf on the shelf.
Well, he will be when I'm done. I thought that was pretty good. Sorry.
It was.
That was,
No, it was.
that was kind of funny. But
Just have to find a shelf big enough for the diorama.
oh yeah, I don't think I don't think they will be on a shelf. He'll be on a shelf until he goes into the diorama. How's that? He'll temporarily be on a shelf.
I mean, we're starting to run out of space again.
I know. Well, and that's because I haven't sold anything. Like I said, I haven't updated the website to put any of the stuff up on for sale. So,
This is true.
again, my fault. I'm just behind on everything.
So if you've seen something you want but didn't see it on sale on the website, shoot us an email. Let us know. We
That's
may
true.
be willing to make you a deal.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Not everything's for sale, but
No, but many of it is. Because I always have to make room for more.
someone wants to paint all the minis.
And what am I going to do when Tiamat's done? I mean, I'm going to need more room for her. She's like 3 feet tall.
She's like 18 inches.
I
She's
know.
not 3 feet tall.
It's more fun to say it my way.
It is more fun to say it your way. Granted.
I know it's an exaggeration, but yeah. Realistic, about 1.5 feet. So a nice exaggeration would be 3, right? So that's where we're gonna be. But look, definitely great with the blue hair or brown hair.
You said blue hair.
I was looking at the blue.
What has changed so drastically?
I was looking at the blue. The blue is, like I said, those magic defense spells going off. I've got to fix the OSL on those. And then, continue painting the rest of him. A face. He might like some eyes to see. And, I've got to bring out his mouth a little bit. But, and of course the earrings. Finish fixing up this jaw got a nice chiseled jawline, and I keep hitting with every other color I touch. So he's coming along quite well. So next time you see him, will probably be completed and in the diorama. So look forward to that.
Definitely.
But I actually think that is a perfect place for us to wind down and start saying our thank yous.
Thank you to everyone.
Yes. But more specifically, thank you for watching and spending some time with us. I always appreciate that. We really love, well, any watch we get, let's be honest. Any of our videos, any of our live streams. And I know a lot of you like watching the live streams later on. So that's always fun to see. So if you are doing that and you're watching this in the future, leave us a message and, tell us how tomorrow is. So
Ooh, it's like time travel.
Right. And then thank you especially to our patrons. We always say, never forget to say thank you to them. They actually make it much easier for us to run the channel and do what we do. So everything that we get from patron goes right back into the channel, into improving, partially paying for the editors and, equipment and all of that stuff to improve everything. And so we really appreciate them. If you want to check that out, definitely do so. There's free trials that you can sign up for. And then you get access to our Discord and our fun patron-only live stream.
Yep.
Where we go crazy and do all sorts of stuff.
We painted naked ladies last time.
Shh. That's secret stuff. You're
Sorry,
not supposed
sorry.
to tell everybody.
Well, I mean, how else are we going to get them interested?
Well, you can let me finish talking. Because my point was gonna be, we do things on there that YouTube doesn't allow publicly, because we don't need YouTube's permission to do it, since it's private.
Yep.
So, all sorts of fun stuff. And, like Ben said, naked lady, always good for learning skin. So, definitely, I don't care I don't care what gender you're looking at, but, when you're looking at a naked body, you got a lot of skin to paint. So, that's always fun. And, what else? Anything else? I think that's about it.
That's everything.
We could thank Mammoth Factory for working with us again.
Absolutely.
So, definitely.
Look forward to their Kickstarter end of the month.
Yep, and check them out on my mini factory. You can see all their monthly stuff. So I do paint for them every month as well. And that is about it. So that's gonna wrap it up. So we appreciate you spending the past couple hours with us and hope you're having a fantastic week. And until next time.